Goosebumps. Reader beware, you choose the scare. Number 17. Little Comic Shop of Horrors. I thought after school clubs were supposed to be fun, you grumble. You love comic books, and a comic club sounded cool, but it's run by Horace Grumbachelor, the dullest kid in school. How could someone make a subject like comics boring? Horace manages. He clicks his slide projector to a picture of a comic book cover. Here's the first issue starring Super Duper, he drones. Today it is worth nearly $200,000. Click. And here's the first appearance of Ballistic Bug. This comic goes for nearly $20,000. As if any kid in this club can afford that, you think. The projector clicks again, and a horror comic appears on the screen. Excellent! You love horror! But Horace can even make horror dull. This is issue of The Seller of Scary Stories. Went for $1,600, he lectures. An ugly face sneers at you from the comic cover. Yuck! It looks like a rotten pumpkin with warts. You turn away and notice the classroom clock. How did it get so late? You run outside in time to see a horrible sight. Oh no, you groan. The school bus is already a block away. It left without you. Thanks a lot, Horace, you growl. Because of his boring lecture, now you have to walk home. If you follow the same route as the bus, you won't get home for hours. You decide you'd better try a shortcut, even though it means going through a part of town you've never seen before. You walk and walk along your shortcut. With every step you take, your book bag gets heavier. The area you're cutting through looks a little weird. The buildings are all old and dingy. The stalls huddle together as if they're holding each other up. And the stuff in the windows is very weird. You pass a clothing store that seems to be selling Halloween costumes, even though Halloween is months away. And those dolls in that toy shop? They look like vampires. You're relieved when you spot a store for vacuum cleaners. That's normal, you think. And next to it, hey, a comic book shop! You step inside. The comic shop is dimly lit. You can barely make out the comics on spinning racks. Beyond, in deeper shadows, are tables with row after row of boxes. These are the back issues, where collectors look for treasures. The owner stands behind a cash register. He looks familiar with his round face and warts, but you can't place him. He grunts when he sees you. Humph, kids. Well, who does he expect to come in and buy comics? As you walk past him, the store owner calls out, "Leave your bag up here!" You scowl. Why is he treating you like a thief? You think about leaving, but you would like a rest from walking, and besides, you really want to check out the comics. Strolling around the racks, you notice the latest issue of Major Disaster. You bought it just a week ago. This guy has a sticker on it half price. Doesn't the owner know what these comics are worth? The deeper into the store you go, the darker it gets. A pair of bookcases block your way, but there's a little space between them. You see light coming through the crack. You squeeze between the bookcases into an open area. A dusty light bulb dangles from the ceiling. In its dim glow, you make out another spinning rack of comics. A sign taped to the top of the rack says, "You think this is a library? Look, but don't touch, or you'll be sorry." You peer at the comics on the rock. Whoa, that's the issue of Ballistic Bug from Horace's slideshow. The comic is marked for $2. And up there on the top rack, is that the incredibly expensive copy of Super Duper? Then you notice something else, a doorway. Beyond the rack, metal stairs lead downward to the basement, you guess. An arrow-shaped sign points down the stairway. It reads, "Horror." There's also a tattered sign on the open door. You try to make out the faded letters. It seems to say, "No admittance. Trespassers will be glomped." Glomped? What's that? You really don't care. All you care about is making a tough decision. Should you take a close look at the rack? Or should you go down to the horror section?